Ndị Igbo ekene m unu. Asị m ka nke echukwelu ya zelu. Anyị si ndụ mmiri ndụ azụ. Mmiri atara m azụ anwụra. Asa dịrị mma na eke, dịrị mma na orie, fọzara mma na afọ, fọzara mma na nkwọ. Ụzọ ahịa anọ nke ndị Igbo ji biri. Asị na ya dịrị n'Igbo na mma o. Ise, ise, ise. Dịka o si dị ka agbapụ na ya ọsọ igosi na ya bụ ife anyị ji maka ya wee bịa. Na tupu anyị aga n'igosi na ya bụ ife, ọ bụla nke a bụ ụbọchị izu gị. Ị na-ejete afọ chanel anya n'igbe akwụkwọ ka baro ka ị like and subscribe o. Tinyekwa kọmentị, share ekwe ya, tụsa ya bụ ozi ka ụmụnne anyị dị n'ebe dị iche iche wee nụ ya bụ ife na-eme n'obodo a. Dịka o si dị, ihe wetara unu tata bụ nnukwu update dị oke mkpa. Mma nchọ ka onye ọbụla misie ya. Mma nchọ ka ị ga ya bụ ife, ị ga-esi ya bụ ife wetara unu gbasa maka ya bụ ife na-eme n'obodo anyị nọ n'ime ya. And nwere ndị Igbo na-azọ drọpụra your own comment.
To start with, protest in Nigeria is a fundamental right. Section 39, 40, and 41 of the Constitution is very clear that to exercise your right to complain as a citizen of this country is given and a fundamental right. There is no relationship between exercising the right to protest and treason. Treason is forcefully taking over the control of governmental machinery or taking over the control of the system. But asking for a better government, asking that you are tired of the way and manner the government is being run, cannot and should not be close to treason. It's just like day and darkness, day and light. Treason is a crime. Protest is a right. So there is no way they are in any way connected. They are not connected in any way.
Seun, do you feel that, considering what has happened in the past week, that it's clear-cut what treason is and what peaceful protest is? And do you feel at any point the protesters moved over to being guilty of a crime?
No, I've not seen any crime being committed by the people. The only crime constantly, is that committed by the elites and both political and business against the Nigerian people. That is what should be treasonous, and we as Nigerians must understand class consciousness. When you call me an activist, I was like, because I believe I'm truly a revolutionary. I'm looking to really change this country, not reform it, but to really change the system, because we have to be class conscious to understand that we as the people, the working class, the poor people, we are different from the rich people. The social contract of this country that they say we are running since 1999 is that these rich people will take all the resources, all the opportunities. Every government incentive goes to them. And from this largesse, they will in turn invest in the economy, in the infrastructure, in society at large, in our education, in our healthcare, and they will bring it to the reach of the common man. Even if it is private, they will pay him the wage he needs to access those services. But they've never employed enough people to be able to afford the few that they've built, and they've not even made the wage livable so that we can afford these services. So this is the failure. This is the treason in itself that nobody talks about. So when they say there's treason, it's the way they run politics, like the way Wike express loyalty for Fubara, and that one is refusing to respect him. He's a traitor. So since you don't bow down and the people come outside to speak against them, the people are definitely traitors. Not traitors to Nigeria, but traitors to the individuals that have privatized our public institutions.
Now, I'm going to move to you, Festus. And are Nigerians right in their demands for good governance and these things that that Seun has mentioned? Because this government promises renewed hope, and they've said that some of these painful decisions need to be taken now in order for us to benefit from the better infrastructure, the jobs, the opportunities to live, earn a good wage. So should Nigerians be patient and wait for these dividends of democracy to yield, or should we be looking to protest?
When a government has failed in its primary responsibility to protect the life of the people and provide basic amenities for them, why should the people be quiet? I believe that protest at any time is justified in this country. It is even more justified because in spite of the 10-day protest that we held last month, the government has not learnt any lesson. Was it not last week that the government charged 10 of the protesters to court for treason? The same government of Nigeria was charging them to court for demanding an end to bad governance. It's in the charge, clearly. Charging protesters to court for demanding an end to bad governance. You are charging protesters to court for simply asking that TINUBU must go. They said that is a crime. When a government elected over a year has failed abysmally, why should the people not demand that you should leave office? That is the question we are asking ourselves. Why should the people not demand? So a government that criminalizes complaints of its citizens do not have the right to tell the citizens to be patient. Because the government has never been patient in spending recklessly. You want our people to be patient, but you have close to 50 ministers. Want our people to be patient. There is no reduction in the cost of governance. Reckless spending here and there. Those that have held our country to ransom by the failure to deliver the dividend of democracy do not have that right to ask our people to be patient. So I believe strongly that the Nigerian government does not listen to the Nigerian people. The only language that the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu understands is protest. If we are speaking English on TV, they will not listen to us. That's the truth. You write on newspaper, they will not listen. You rant on social media, they will not listen. But when you take your placard out there to say you want to protest, you see they begin to hold emergency meeting. The emergency meeting they have failed to hold in few weeks now. They've not held any emergency. But the day Nigeria come out to say, look, we are tired of this suffering. We are tired of queuing in a country that produces, that has abundance of oil. We are tired of queuing. We are tired of suffering. We are tired of the whole pain and hardship. You see that they begin to panic. So it appears to me that the only language the Nigerian government understands is protest. And if that is the language they understand, I think we should speak loudly to their hearing.
Seun, is that the language we should be speaking? Should protest become our regular form of communication with this government? Or should we explore other means, like Festus has said, like speaking here on TV, writing, engaging, writing in the newspapers? Is protesting enough? And will it get the ears of the people who lead us?
I'm going to paraphrase Martin Luther King. I'm not sure exactly how he said it, but he said something like, I would rather live in a war zone, right, that is just, than live in a peaceful place where there are no rights. Because there's nothing more peaceful than an unjust society where everybody have accepted their fate. They have accepted to be oppressed. So they keep quiet. So the oppressors can just do what they like. I mean, up to 10 years ago, Nigerians were the most resilient people in the world. They were telling us, giving us polls of how we are the happiest people in the world. Nobody came to give us award for it. But now that we want to start speaking up for the betterment of ourselves, we are being charged and called. But what I would say to Nigerians, though, protest is not enough. As he said, I see protest as, a child to a loving parent complaining, oh, daddy, mommy, I don't want to eat this. And the mommy, because he cares, and the daddy and mommy cares. But these people don't care. That's why I don't preach protest only. I also preach mass organization. Because we, the people, must also organize ourselves for power. It is not enough that we are protesting that we don't like what they do. We must also be sending the signals that we are ready to replace them. Not with another version of themselves as we did before, from PDP to APC, but with a new people's movement, powered by the people, with workers with representatives from our side of the divide, from the working people, from the poor people, to rule this country for our own benefit. So it's not enough that people even want to protest. Protest is the beginning of this dance. The real party starts when we begin to mass mobilize and mass organize into a socialist identity to release this country from this capitalist nonsense that we're experiencing. I mean, look at what we are going through in Nigeria today, and they are releasing pictures of our executives in Saint-Tropez. It's all over the social media. All of them enjoying their life at this period in time of the country. So it shows that we are not in the same reality. Nobody, these people, although they are saying we are all for sacrifice. And even to the president, I would say, the fact that he says that these decisions he's making are tough decisions is also a misnomer. It's propaganda. It is well oiled. And it is for the professionals, the journalists, to help them spin this nonsense that is going on. Because to be tough, right, means to compete or challenge your equals. Right? If you are beating your child, that doesn't make you tough. But when you fight your mates, that's toughness. Right? To beat your child is wicked. So to heap suffering on Nigerian people, on poor people, on the workers, on the masses of the citizens, to say, okay, we want to get to the bottom of the subsidy regime. We want to see why it did not work. When he tackles people in his own class and brings them to book, this oil situation would have been solved if that was the route we went through. But instead, he decided to be wicked, and they call wickedness toughness. No. I want to see a president that is tough in this country. I truly want to see a tough president that can truly stand up, straighten his spine, and face the true issues of this country. I want to see that tough president, but it doesn't exist today. Nobody should be saying this wickedness is toughness. No. This renewed hope that you said before, I'm going to tell you no, is renewed scope, as we say on the streets.
Festus, I want to ask you that Nigerians now are saying when? When do we have the answers? How long should Nigerians wait for those answers? And I want to also lean into what Seun just said about mass organization. Is this a wake-up call for 2027? Or we still have some time before 2027 to see if indeed it's renewed hope or renewed scope?
Well, I think it's a case of renewed hopelessness. I've looked at this administration carefully. I am afraid that the president may not have what it takes to take Nigeria out of the doldrum. Not just that. It also appears to me that the president, apart from being completely incompetent, the president equally does not believe in basic democratic ideals. You are telling the people to be patient. You are saying, look, our people, please have hope in me. But over a year, we are not seeing any signal that this country is heading towards a right destination. But again, we cannot blame the president, because if anyone gets power illegitimately, it is very difficult for such a person to deliver the dividend of democracy or to do anything meaningful with it. What I have seen playing out is that the president does not understand the solution to Nigeria's problem. Our people are suffering.
My brother, sorry to cut you. I beg to differ. But
very well.
Go on.
I believe, that is my belief, that the president of Nigeria and the people surrounding him, they do not have the capacity to take our people out of this world. And the reason is very simple. They profit from the inefficiency of the system. The way the country is not governed properly, it profits them. We have a country where corruption and impunity reign supreme. It profits the ruling elite at the expense of the poor. But because they do not feel the pulse of our people, they continue their reign in power. That's the way I see it.
You said you disagree, and I want to know whether we can give this government till 2027, or in this mass organization, are you saying that more people need to set up political parties? There needs to be sensitization? Because at this point, Nigerians just want a solution, a messiah of sorts to deliver them.
No president, no messiah can deliver Nigerian people. That's one thing we must understand. Only the Nigerian people can deliver Nigeria. You see, one of the things, we are 25 years too late already. 1999 to 2025, that we don't have a pro-people's party already with a socialist ideology to share the resources of this country evenly and justly. equitably, not evenly, equitably. The relationship between Nigerians, our elites, and our resources has to change. That is the bottom line, of this argument here. When my brother here was saying, they don't have this, the president of this country today, I've said it before and I'll say it again, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is one of the men, when I was young, in my teenage years, that inspired my political consciousness. With my uncle, Dr. Beko, these were the kingpins of Nadeco. These were the pro-democracy men that we look up to. Uncle Wole Soyinka, the words that they spoke. So even if this president is saying today that saying the president must go after 1 year's treason, in 2012, he was part of a protest I was a part of that. We were calling for Jonathan to leave 1 year or two into his reign. Abi? So the issue that we Nigerian people must understand is that these people know what to do. They don't care about doing it. We must understand that fact first. We must not see what is happening as a mistake, a trial and error. Because many of us are raised with the win or lose mentality. We don't understand that we are in a life or death situation. We are busy trying to win and crying when we lose. You understand? But this is a life or death situation. So we go to school, and it is a shame and a tragedy that we have to be educated by our elites. And the job of every elite, everywhere in the world, is not wrong, is to put their spirits in the youth. The Chinese educational system, that's what it does, is the vision, ambition, and experience of the elders, of the elites that is taught in the schools, what we need for our country to move. That spirit is put into the education. So it is the spirit of our elites that is put into our education here. So it is linked directly to making money, competition. I'm better than you. Compete, test, all this one. Don't look at my book. All these things that we do, let me not go into that on that thing entirely. But it brings out the individual lawyer that thinks, oh, I'm a lawyer to make money. The doctor, oh, I'm a doctor to be rich. Musician, I want to sing song to be rich. Everybody just wants to be rich. We don't understand that national development cannot be divorced from national talent. So when the education has divorced national talent from national development, that is where we find ourselves. So everybody is easily bought and sold to anything that we think we want to do for our own personal benefit. We don't believe that our talent is needed for the development of our nation, that we must engage. People will laugh at you. What difference will it make? The difference is that you have done something. So we have to be the ones to organize around this new ideology, understanding that it is not through competition. Yes, it's okay, but we need cooperation, because they lie to us. They can tell us every day, hey, don't competition, the survival of the fittest, capitalism. But when you work in their companies, they'll tell you cooperate. They don't tell their workers to compete among themselves in the company. It's just the way they say tribalism in Nigeria. When it's time to do national work, that's when I hear tribalism. Because I know in all these banks, they have people from all over Nigeria working in there.
And even the national teams, we have a representation of different tribes that are, competing under the Nigerian flag. I'm going to move to you, Festus. And I think the question is, what should Nigerians be doing now? We've tried the protest. There's been an announcement that's another protest coming. Seun has said that it's not enough to protest. It's just one form. But Nigerians that do feel helpless, like, what can I do? Like Seun said, what's that thing you can do and know that you've done something to move this country forward?
I would say this very clearly, that you cannot have a revolution on behalf of an ignorant people. What the Nigerian political elite have done is to weaponize ignorance and weaponize poverty. Now, we have a duty as conscious people to conscientize the rest of us, to awaken their consciousness. That is the first thing we need to do. And that has to do with conscientizing them, mobilizing them, awakening their consciousness. Because I was somewhere yesterday, someone was still talking, making excuses for the government, giving me reasons why the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying its best. These people do not essentially understand. And because ignorance has been weaponized, we the middle class, we have that responsibility to conscientize the rest of us. And when our people are highly conscientized, they understand the issues. They see reasons why their voice is powerful, why they have to use their voice. Then we can now move towards a political change. What we need in Nigeria is political change. Nigeria is unlikely to move forward with the crop of leadership that we have now. But we cannot necessarily take away those leaders unless and until we have a conscious citizenry. And that is the work we have to do. And we've been doing it by mobilizing our people. But you cannot mobilize the people that are largely ignorant. I
think that ties into what Seun said about, organizing people and letting people know the collective good. And I would like you to...
That has to be done by educating them. We have a populace that is politically ignorant. So we have a responsibility to educate them, to raise their consciousness. Some people, we were on the streets August 1st. We protested from the under bridge to Ojota. And some people were still asking. In fact, a journalist was asking me, "Lawyer, what are you doing here?" A journalist was asking me that.
So the national consciousness.
We need a national consciousness.
I'd like Seun to respond to that.
I think I've said it on this show before, that a nation cannot develop above the consciousness of its people. Our collective consciousness as Nigerians is the level of Nigeria's development. Your nation cannot rise above the consciousness of its people. You say we have a responsibility, a duty, but it's also a spiritual calling. I don't like to discuss spirituality too much, but let me touch on it a bit. We Africans that are alive today are those that told our ancestors that we want to come back and fix it. I call this generation the liberation generation. It is also a spiritual calling. That's why we are restless. That's why even those of us that don't partake have to let everybody know that we don't partake. That is partaking. Because the situation of African people, not only in our country, all over the world, does not sit well with us the way it sat well with the generations before. You understand? We, the majority here, what we are missing is the understanding of that intuition. The courage to actually, because I don't like explaining what is going on. Everybody knows what is going on. So, it is the courage and the conviction to do it, to carry it out, that is lacking. We, the professionals of Nigeria, have been aligned for too long with the oppressor. Our people are ready to, they are on the verge. They want to see that we are on their side. We are the ones holding them back. It's not fear. The moment, people judge musicians, Nigerian musicians are not singing political songs. To who? The musicians must feel like the lawyers care about justice. That the doctors care about the health of the nation. That the engineers are engineering and the development of the country. That the educators, the professors care about the education and the knowledge of young. Once we are also, musicians will be inspired to make the music to inspire those people. So it is the professionals of this country that must change their allegiance. The bankers must stop, regardless of what your guy said. Start forming your, mobilizing from within these organizations. You all know these files you are carrying to launder money is wrong. Your guy wants you to do it. Mobilize yourself. Let the people know what's going on. We are the people. They can't bring their family to run all these companies and all these banks. They can't do it. They need the people. And they've not educated us enough to even have a big pool to choose from with the way the professionals are already running away safe. It's a little pool. So these two have to come to the table. This is how we begin to wrest power from them. Let us, the professionals of Nigeria, come to the side of the people. Those that have been able to get some comfort within this oppression must realize that.
And the by Ekeneponi Mono, Edikonis Webto Guno, Igabo Yabife, Nukwozito Kempa, Ejemakia, wee bịa n'iru akwụkwọ na Igbo midia bụ ebe anyị si wee na-wetara unu ya bụ nnukwu ozi dị oke mkpa gbasịta maka ihe na-eme n'obodo anyị nọ n'ime ya, ana gbasịta maka nnwere onwe ndị Igbo na-azọ, ana gbasịta maka Maazị Nnamdi Kanu's ladies. Dịka ị nụrụ ihe nwanne anyị nwoke kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ, ka efi were ikwu n'ụdị nke gị asị gị kwuo ka efi were ikwu maka na otu aka o jedebe njọ ọ ya adịkwanụ mma. Ọgwụ na ọtụ ụmụnne m, achọrọ m ka unu tinyere anyị alụ nke unu ife unu chere n'iru akwụkwọ, ikwucha ya bụ ife kapa arụsie ya kwurụta ụmụnne anyị ndị ọzọ ntị, kwurụta ụmụnne anyị ndị ọzọ ntị. Daalụ rinne na ụmụnne m Igbo ọma na-ege ntị, anyị na-ekene ndị nnekunu si na-esonyere anyị.